Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
Chris James, animated male, Stephen Michael. We are here once again. We are here.
Are we here again?
We are here again, my friend.
All right.
And y'all want to jump right into it?
We might as well.
Y'all want to jump right into it? You know what I mean?
We might as well.
Before we do that, subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Comment. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video.
Comment.
You know what I mean?
Just trying to get them to like it. Trying to get them to like it right now. Before we get going.
Before we even finish it. All right, man. So this past couple days, man.
Oh man. Oh, we getting right. Okay.
Oh man. It's been a strange couple days, man. There's a lot of things happening.
A lot of things
happening, and the Godfather, man. The Godfather has passed.
It's crazy.
And with passing, it's typically a range of emotions and feelings. Mm-hmm. And him passing, it sucks. I remember, because Steve, when we first found out about it, Steve texted us in our text group chat. And he texted us, and I was just like, I said, this has to be.
Oh, yeah.
This has to be.
You're like, I need more information.
Yeah, I need more information. I don't believe this, because I didn't see. Only thing that I saw was comments that were like negative and like, I hope this is true and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm not going to believe this crap, And also, it's when situations like that happen, it's surreal. Mm-hmm. It's surreal to me. So I'm always have a certain level of doubt, But even with Kevin Samuels passing, he's left an impact on the world, good and bad, And a lot of things that I've seen are mixed. There's a lot of people celebrating his death, which is like, to me, I don't understand why people are celebrating his death as if he is some world oppressing slave. It's just like they make it seem like someone who has an opinion that's different than yours is this villain, So that's like one of the reasons why I ultimately didn't believe it, And then, I went to go check his channel to make sure. I was like, okay, he went live like 21 hours ago. So
he was just live like the day before.
Yeah,
he's live. That's what he did. He was always live. He was always working.
Yeah, he was always working and always grinding. And I was like, I was hoping, like my thoughts were like, I hope he just show up and he'll be like,
tricked ya!
Well, not even a tricked you, but like saying more like who starting this rumor, because that's instantly where my mindset went, And like for me, it personally sucks. It sucks. And not just because of, I guess, the impact and the change of thoughts, that he's created, but it's more like it's just a man.
It's a life.
It's a life. Yeah. It's a life. It's another energy that was here with us. So I could never, ever, ever celebrate anything like that. And
anyone's death, period.
I can't celebrate.
I mean, there's. I'm not going to go to the extreme to say that I wouldn't be happy about anybody dying. But when you're talking about somebody who has not killed, raped, murdered, actively abused, like he's just a person with an opposing opinion, and he started a conversation that, whether people want to admit it or not, is taking over the community, and we're creating dialogues. Whether you agree with him or not, the conversation is being had where people weren't talking before.
Yeah,
there were underlying issues that were just being swept under the rug. He pulled the rug up And whether or not you want to face those issues, that doesn't matter. But he had that impact. And why are you celebrating his death? He wasn't a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing that frustrates me the most is that, and I've talked to people, because people will post, Isaiah post about it, and then people are in there, I don't understand why y'all wouldn't expect people to celebrate this dude's death. He talks bad to black women. He beats black women down with his words and all this stuff. And it's like, I said, have you ever listened to any of his broadcasts, like in its entirety? No, I just see the clips. And shut up, bro. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm so sick of people that have these strong enough opinions to be like, yo, I'm glad this is dead. And you've never even watched his content. You're just watching clips.
Yeah.
This is the reason why Joe Rogan had to apologize, because he kept saying the N-word, because people took a whole bunch of clips out of context and made him look racist. They can make me look any way they want. They're clips. Like, it's easy to do that. Why are we so ignorant that we're like, oh yeah, the clip says he's XYZ? Like, if you don't like his clips, don't watch his clips. If somebody asks you about him and all you've ever seen is clips, I don't know. I don't have enough information. Like, that's how a normal functioning human being would approach it. They wouldn't have these strong values and opinions about something they don't know anything about. Like, that's ridiculous. People saying, oh, he always talked down to black women. Yeah, except for the fact that he had, more than 12 married couples in his singles group. He also had multitudes of women coming back, and whether they were married or single or trying to get married, talking about, thank you, your advice helped me. How is it that all these people that are so glad he's dead, they don't know anything about that?
Yeah.
It's frustrating, because it's like, all y'all do is look at the bad. And the good that he did completely outweighs the bad. But you aren't aware of it because you're not willing to listen to something that makes you feel uncomfortable. As soon as somebody starts telling you something you don't want to hear, you tune out. That's the problem. How are you going to have an opinion about something and you don't have two opposing sides of view? That's illogical. Like, this is the same thing when I started studying health and wellness. People think, oh, Chris is just against medical science and doctors. No, I studied their doctrine. That's why I'm against it. I couldn't be against it if I didn't know what they believed and what they practiced. So if you're not looking at both sides of the coin, your opinion is flawed. And you really, like, you can still have an opinion, but why are you just boasting about it like you know what you're talking about and you're so educated? No, you're not. You're ignorant. And that's the part. So you're ignorant about it, and then you're celebrating a person's death. I hope people like that go back and watch his content, and I hope you feel bad.
Like, and when we say content, like, I want to be clear, because a lot of what is out there are clips. And what we mean by clips, a clip can be 30 minutes. That's still a clip. That's not a clip isn't just a reel. A clip isn't a 30-second, a 1 minute. A clip can be a segment of his entire broadcast. So we got to understand that YouTube is a business, and he was running a business as well. And unfortunately, in this world, we understand that a lot of negativity grabs attention. A lot of negativity is what people watch. They gravitate to. So, of course, as a business, you're going to put out the content that people gravitate to. And a lot of that content was the content a lot of people are judging him off of. But that is just pieces. So there are times where he actually had to create what's called the Smoke Show, which is literally a show or a 2.5 hour live where he only said, I want people to come on who oppose me, because he started getting so many people that just agreed with him. So he wasn't able to get the content that was selling or the negative content. He had to create a show where he can get that content because people just started to agree with him.
Yeah.
And when we say watch his content, once again, and people say, well, I've seen enough, I understand. Well, but did you understand? Because when we say watch his content, you have to watch an entire broadcast. Like, go to a live stream and watch a 2.5 hour or 2 hour live stream. And if you watch it where multiple callers come on, you will see that most of them he's giving advice to. Most of them he's having conversation where he is being very kind and he's very nice. And he even says, like, listen, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Don't Don't start arguing with me. Don't start, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't see. And there's a lot of things out there that, he did with men as well that
nobody knows.
They don't even know about it. Like I just watched a video from 6 years ago, and he's just talking to men. And it's just straight to men, and he's telling men like, how can you expect a woman to be submissive to you, but you're not out working? Why are you at home with no job playing video games? Why are you out here with Jordans on, but you don't have a car? Like, he's telling, like, the thing that women don't understand, that a lot of them don't understand, and I'm not saying everyone doesn't, but the frustrating thing is that before he started talking to women, he was talking to men
for 5 years.
For 5 years, telling men, this is why you can't get the women that are successful, right? Women are out here being successful. They're doing a lot of things. Here's the reason, men, that you can't get them. Because you're focused on Jordans. You're focused on your shoes and your clothes. And you're focused on all these things that don't matter, but you don't have a job. You don't have a savings account. You don't have any investments. Why are you not doing these things? So you ask these women to give you these things that you want, to be all this and that, but you're not that. So for 5 years, he was digging in men's asses, trying to get them to do better and giving them advice on how to smell good, how to look good, how to be confident, how to be assertive. Like, he was
how to shave,
he was giving men all of these tips where men started saying, "Hey, man, I appreciate this." I personally, just one thing that I personally picked up, went from wearing a lot of men just wore body spray or Axe or just whatever. And for a while I'm just I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not wearing cologne. I'm not really focused on those things. And then I started listening. I'm like, I need to start wearing cologne, actual cologne, and focusing on the ones that were decent, the women actually liked, by listening to his content. And then I get compliments all the time, man, you smell so good. Oh my God. Thanks, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But people don't know that.
No. And they're never going to take the time to look at it, because this is what we do. We're only interested in the highlights, the clips. That's all we consume. So why would you do any real research? And that's the reason why we're so sick. That's the reason why we have so many problems, because people won't take any real energy and time and put into anything. Everything's got to be right now. I had a dude on my TikTok getting mad at me because I made a 3-minute video. It literally, bro, you're going to fail on TikTok. I made 1 3-minute video. All my other videos are less than 1 minute. And the dude is literally like, F you, you're going to fail.
That's crazy.
I'm just this world we live in is too much. And I'm going to say something else too. Uh-oh. Everybody says, Kevin would demean black women. It was always this demeaning of black women. That's the big thing. He hates black women. Any woman that came on this show talking reckless or repeating the negative things that modern women say, they talk about men in a negative light, whatever. People didn't realize Kevin's channel was a men's channel, right? So he was an advocate for men. So when women came on saying things that they always say, that's socially acceptable for women to say, demeaning men, he would check them. And it didn't matter if it was a white woman, a German woman, a Italian, Puerto Rican, it didn't matter. Also, the other thing that none of these people that are I'm glad I'm spitting on his grave, I'm glad he's dead. Another thing y'all never knew because you didn't watch his content, if a white woman came on his show and started talking down or bad about a black woman, Kevin would check her like crazy. He never let anybody talk bad about our women. Now, what kind of sense does that make? Only I can talk ish about our women.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't his thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because, there's this saying that he always had was, get a dog and die alone. And it's obviously harsh when you hear it, but how do you, if you look at a wall and you want to destroy a wall, do you destroy a wall with a pencil? Do you destroy a wall with a hammer? In order to destroy a wall, a brick wall, you need something bigger, right? If you want to break down or destroy a building, demolitionists don't use hammers and jackhammers. They use dynamite. You need something explosive in order to break down something that is large and it's foundational. So a lot of the foundational things that our generation, or not even our generation, just we as black people have been taught are bad. They're not good, and they are leading us down this path where there are a lot of people that are dying alone. And it's unfortunate because we don't want to talk about it, but we see it. Like, we all have those aunties and uncles that are literally single, and they're 50, 60 years old, and they're dying alone. And there's really no particular reason for that. So he's bringing those things to light. And that's the thing that's frustrating about it. Like,
I think Kevin Samuels, him passing, it opened a lot of eyes, or at least it opened my eyes to a lot of crap that's out there, because it's outside. Like, he's grown to dominance, or well known, or became infamous because of that. What's that? Average at best. And then since then, he's been in people's vision. So what confuses me is we've only known him for roughly 2 years.
2 years.
Roughly 2 years. So based on a 2-year experience that we have with him, people say that he needs to burn in hell.
Right. I mean,
he gets what he deserves. We don't acknowledge the fact that he's a father. He has a daughter that's in college. So we just erased the entire 54 years of his life and who he is and who he's represented to because of an opinion. Mm-hmm. An opinion. The thing is, I don't watch a lot of news. I don't watch a lot of things. Why? Because I don't like their opinions on things. I don't view it. I do not give my attention to something that I do not see any value in. So if you were so upset, or if you were so against what he was saying, why are you tuning into it? Why are you watching it? Just leave it alone. Yeah. Allow him, whatever he's doing in his life should not affect your life if it's not something you agree with. Let him do his own thing. If you're not getting any benefit from it, or if you don't see any value in it, fine. But the people who see the value in it, they'll get it. They're not going to be upset and protest someone just because they have a difference of opinion. Just don't acknowledge it. Just don't follow it. You're choosing to get upset about something that you can just avoid. So that part it's wild to me that we just ignore his entire existence. And the funny thing is, the same behavior that they're condemning of him, they're doing it. They're saying, "Oh, I don't want him the way he talk about people." Look how you're talking.
Right.
You're a son of Christ or a daughter of Jesus or whatever, or you grew up under the Holy Trinity, whatever, and you're speaking and thinking like this towards another human, another life, and another soul. What kind of tainted, wicked, dark, malicious, and vile, corrupted mind are you living in?
Wow.
That is insane for people to have such passion for something they don't care about.
Passion, too. That's a good word. They're passionate about it.
Passionately about hating and spewing and spitting this stuff out there. What? Think about what you're doing.
It's very unhealthy.
Bro, go ahead. Just
in general, right? Because our just looking at this from a health standpoint, spiritually, that's very unhealthy. You never want to just give out that type of energy because we understand karma, and some people don't. You're going to get out what you put in. So if you are putting in negative hate, into the world, that's what you're going to get back. And I understand if you don't agree with somebody and you just okay, well, cool, whatever. I mean, whatever. Because there's things that I don't agree with people, but to be, like you said, passionate about it is disgusting. It's to say the least. It's like it makes me question the people that I even see, and I don't see a lot of people that I know personally. Yeah. Oh, okay with it. A lot of it is just people, but personally, I don't see a lot of people that are like, yeah, rah rah. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a good thing. That lets me know that I have some very quality friends. But that doesn't mean that they're not. Just because they're not saying it doesn't mean they don't feel it. So I mean, just in general, from a health standpoint, spiritually, that's not spiritually healthy. It's not good to think that way and put that type of energy out there, as well as just in general physically. To think that way, there's a level of toxicity that has to be within you to feel that way about somebody.
100%.
And we really should be looking at this, once again, not just from a physical standpoint in the person, but also in a health stance. Like, just putting out hate and things like that is just not good for you physically.
What's in you comes out of you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand that. And there's no accountability either. It's like, well, he said this and he said that, and that's why I'm saying this. No, that's not equal. Like, if you don't have hate in you, it can't come out of you. You're hating, you're putting this out there because it's in you. So that should be a concern for you, whether it's Kevin or whoever else.
But they don't hold themselves responsible.
No, not at all.
They blame someone else for how they feel because of how they receive the information. So it's going to be impossible to speak logic to someone like that.
Which is why I don't. But the thing that when we did a video talking about Kevin Samuels a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. On that video, in the comment section, there were people that was like, "Wow, Chris, I wish I knew that you were a Kevin Samuels supporter before. I would not have ever worked with you." I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, oh my God, what is wrong with you people? Like, first of all, you probably didn't watch the whole video. Number one. Never said I agreed with everything, Kevin.
Because we definitely don't. Let's be very clear. Like, he says a lot of good things, but I'll be honest, like, there's a lot of things like he didn't have to do.
Right.
He didn't have to tear women down in certain ways.
Yeah.
He didn't have to express himself in certain ways. Like, he was highly intelligent. He could have maneuvered. But once again, that also wasn't his business model. He wanted to get popular on YouTube, and that sold.
And also, he's human. A lot of what you saw was his own pain. But the beautiful thing about it is, if you actually watched his content, is over the span of them 2 years, he softened a lot. He really softened a lot, and you could see his own personal growth, which is why I liked him, because he practiced what he preached. It wasn't just, I'm Kevin Samuels, I'm whatever, I'm going to talk down or I'm going to do whatever. Like, when he got out of pocket and he had his conversations off camera with other men or wherever the case might be, he made adjustments, and you could see that in how he handles people. Yeah. And it's just so frustrating because people are so blinded by the negativity that they're not able to see the small nuances that really made him what he was. Because let's be honest, growing 1 million subscribers in virtually less than 2 years on 2 independent platforms is extremely difficult. His work ethic was incredible. There's so much that you could learn from him outside of the advice that he would give to different people. I didn't watch Kevin for his advice. I have zero need for it. Mm-hmm. I watched him for his business, like the way he moved, the way that he made adjustments. If you look at my content, if you look at my content 2 years ago versus today, you will see a significant difference. And that was Kevin. That was his. I was watching him and I'm like, oh, the way he's got his lighting set up, the way.
I was about to say, just the way that his videos were done and the way that he changed elements and the way that he would light certain things. Like, there was a lot of reasons to watch him. And you can watch him for all different kinds of reasons. And there's so much good to take from. It's just.
It had a lot of good like items.
Yeah.
A lot of good items. The presentation of the entire thing was dope. And the funny thing is like, as we all mentioned, that we don't necessarily agree with everything that he says. Because there's, as you stated, there will be times I'll be like, he did not have to.
Like, bro, you didn't have to say that.
He didn't have to say that to her, like, you built like a linebacker or something.
Like, God,
damn, you know,
man.
Like, I get, like, it's granted, it's funny, but someone being told that, I can see how that hurt
Of course.
that could hurt someone.
And it's probably not beneficial.
Yeah, it's not beneficial. So if someone, they already have low self-esteem and whatever, and they see that, they hear someone like, you consider this help, I can see why they can take offense.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
So it's not like I am blind to that.
Yeah.
But there's people, and he's one of them, who displays different attributes that you can pick up on, that you want to learn from. Because a lot of things that he spoke about, it was eye-opening to me, and then I didn't even think about it in the way that it was presented. And I was just like, oh snap, like what he's talking about is resonating with me. It's resonating, and it's making me look at myself in the mirror, because honestly, before I even seen, besides the average at best, before I started watching all the other videos that he did with the women, I was checking out the ones that he had with the guys.
Yeah, right.
And he was roasting the guys.
He was roasting these dudes.
Way worse than he did women.
Like,
but nobody cared when he was roasting men.
Yeah.
No one said, "Oh, what do you hate black men? Your dad's a black man." Like, nobody said any of that stuff. Go watch some of his content from 3-4 years ago.
Bro,
he is destroying men.
I'm just like, yo, and I thought it was funny. I mean, because there was one situation where some dude was living with his girl, and I think he had dreams to be a rapper or something like that, and it was just like, what are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, how much money do you make? Where do you work right now? You're working at a fast food restaurant right now. You have dreams to be a rapper, and you're living with your girl.
Right.
Like, bruh.
Like,
you need to reevaluate your life. You said you shouldn't even be thinking about a relationship right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to focus on you. You need to grow. You need to become better. And a lot of that stuff, it resonated, and the funny thing is, aside from Kevin Samuels, there's people who are diabolical or who have high influence in this world that just because they do something that's bad, I learned something from them. Donald Trump, I learned something from him. He's a polarizing figure that most people don't agree with, and they get up in arms. The same thing with the Kardashians. I don't follow the Kardashians, and I don't believe anything that they, I don't believe fake implants and all that, or implants, and I'm not out just modifying your body, and I'm not with any of that. I look at their business, their business model, where they started, and how much money they're accumulating by focusing on their brand. And it may not be a brand or lifestyle that we necessarily like or reflect, but looking at how she's taking advantage of her situation, why wouldn't you salute that as someone who's in a business, and she's a billionaire?
I mean, not just her, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, they're family.
Yeah, they've worked off of each other.
And dude, think about that. That's how, aside from if you take away their getting famous by doing things that are, that are ratchet, technically. We're not, if you take away all that, and you just look at their business model and how they're helping one another blossom, and this little sister, she's getting passed down and stuff like that, I can look at them as an example of how they are taking advantage of their business. Now, their life practices and that's not anything that I like. I don't like any of that crap, but I can look at someone who's a polarizing figure in some aspect in life and see the benefits of it instead of getting offended by it. Because a lot of people was benefiting from the Kevin Samuels situation.
Oh my God.
So, as much hate as there was also a lot of people who were saying man, we lost a good one, and because his presence and his content that he put out, it's one of a kind. Yeah. There's not many people that
there's none. There's no one.
I mean, people are trying to follow in his footsteps, but he was the trailblazer.
He was. I mean, don't get me wrong. What he talked about wasn't new, right? That's why I was like, I'm not really from his actual content and stuff. I'm not learning because I know that I've had these conversations, but the way he was able to do it, nobody was doing that. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of people hating on Kevin. A lot of businesses were built based off of his back. Guess what's about to happen now? All those businesses are failing. All those platforms you were doing so well, people built their entire platform off of Kevin's content. Even if it was reaction videos, You know what I'm saying? Now I'd be curious to see how many of those platforms continue to subsist now that he's passed.
That's interesting.
Even the people that hated on him, the people that hated Kevin so much, built an entire platform off of it. Now what you eating off of? Because you didn't have any original content. You just used his content and just basically talked ish about him.
Yeah.
He hates black women. Built these groups and communities off of this hate, and now he's gone. And now what? Now what are you going to do? Because the last 2 years has been good for people.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess for me, it's somebody that I was able to, I can absorb his content and pick apart what I like and what I don't like.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right, that is the thing about Kevin. Like, I don't think that there's anybody that says, any black man that I've ever talked to, no one says, yeah, I agree with everything he says. Like, there was a lot of stuff, once again, that we said that I did not personally agree with. And I am the type to, when I talk to people, I like to round off the edges and I like to communicate with them in a way that hopefully they will be able to understand.
You don't like crust on your bread.
I don't like crust on my bread. He liked crust. Like, he had no problem going in on people. And there was a lot of stuff that I'm like, bro, I don't like that. And I stopped listening for a while.
Same thing.
I
can't watch it.
I actually stopped listening, and this was probably about a year ago, right? Because he was going in. And I'm like, the information's good, but I can't take how you're giving it. Yeah. And then he started to change, and I came back a few months later, and I'm like, oh, this is better. I can consume this again.
Because
the same experience.
Because he learned from his mistakes. Like, why do you got to be perfect?
And as you said, like like a lot of what we were seeing was his own trauma. Like, we are all humans and we're not perfect. And yes, he had a channel and he was growing, but he wasn't explosive the way he was until recently. So when you explode that way, there's a lot of things that come with that. You know what I mean? There's more money, there is more fame, there's more eyes on you. You're walking down the street, your ego goes crazy. So he then had to realize, hey, I gotta check this. And he started to check himself.
He did.
And bring himself down to meet people where they were at. And then he only started to do certain things when people were disrespectful to him. So you have to be able, I mean, just in general, we as humans need to be able to listen to something and then take out the content or the information that is good for us and leave the information that isn't. We shouldn't just simply say, well, I can't listen to this person because we don't like their delivery. They may have some good information.
Somebody literally was willing to discard me because I had the audacity to be like, yo, I think what Kevin's doing is important for our community.
It had nothing that you actually said.
Nope.
Just the fact that
guilty by association.
I mean, guilty by association.
Like, it's crazy.
You're throwing away 5 years of what I do on my channel. And by the way, my demographic is black women.
Right.
It's 80% black women. And now all of a sudden, because I appreciate some content over here, I hate black women. That's what they're saying.
It's crazy.
It was insane. Now, there's another piece of this puzzle that I want to talk about, because this is the part that's the most frustrating for me personally. Kevin had, he was a cancer survivor. And when he very first started blowing up, because I think this was more recent, I guess he wouldn't drink on his live streams, so he would do Red Bull. You know what I mean? He put Red Bull in a whiskey glass or whatever, and he'd drink Red Bull. And here's the problem. He was a 50-something-year-old man. He's working himself to the bone because he practiced what he preaches. He tells men you need to get out and work. If you're a 20-something-year-old man, you should be working 60 hours a week, right? But you wouldn't know that because you never watched this content. And so he did that. He grinded. Like the consistency that he showed, not over not just the past 5 years, but specifically the past 2 years, doing the live streams, every week, doing the Instagram. That's an ungodly amount of work.
And he just added Facebook too.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he just added Facebook.
It's I'm a content creator. I'm on these platforms. That's an ungodly amount of work. Yeah. Any content creator out there that sees his work ethic will be like, right? So he did all that. He's drinking Red Bulls to the point, he was drinking Red Bulls so much to the point where people were like, yo, drink water, bro.
Right.
And he even did a video where he's like, all right, guys, look, I got my water, right? So he's working himself to the bone. He's drinking something that's known to give you heart problems. And ultimately, you know, people are like, oh, you know, he was taking good care of himself. He was fit and da-da-da. Like, bro, like, y'all, I see people with a different eye. Mm-hmm. I didn't see Kevin Samuels at a peak health, and I did not see that. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that, like, for me, I always want to do when there's a creator like that, Dane Calloway's another one, I'll be like, man, I want to reach out so bad because what they're doing is important. And, like, I don't want to see someone die because they're not taking care of their health. You know what I mean? And that's my expertise. And this is why it's important to have a nice rounded wolf pack, as he would call it, because you have your lawyer, you have your wellness professional, you have your fitness professional, you have your, you know, the guy who understands finances, and you have this well-rounded table, and you could be a better person because of who you associate with. So that bothered me because, you know, and I think I said this on the last video, and that's maybe why people got so mad. I wanted to work with them. So one of the things was, you've got all these women coming on, and one of the main things he was telling people is you need to lose weight. So I'm like, that's perfect, because I teach people how to lose weight efficiently and healthily. So we could actually work together. But who, you know, the simple fact that I would even think that, oh, Chris, I wish I never would have worked with you. I wish I would have known this before. Like, so because two men want to work together and do something great for our community, you're offended because you don't like his opinion. Like, this is absurd to me. And I have no problem. People ask me, Kevin Samuels, I got no problem. I'm not about to bite my tongue because of your malperception of somebody. Like, oh no.
I mean, I think that it's well, maybe not. I mean, he basically was trying to shine a light on the fact that our community has a weight problem, and we do. And a lot of the issues that we have are stemming from our childhood, the way that we were raised, the way that the people that raised us were raised, and a lot of their negative and bad behaviors are being passed down to us. Just in general, our community has a weight problem across the board. And what we're doing is, unfortunately, we're making it more acceptable to have the weight problem, but there's an unintended consequence. Like, yeah, I can accept this, but the problem is we're dying earlier. Like, I mean, him, for example, not just him, but I mean, he said it himself. Our aunties, our nanas, our, you know, all these people, they're dying at 55, 60 of, you know, and it doesn't need to be that way. So it's unfortunate that, once again, that word doesn't get heard because of the delivery, but it is definitely something that we work on every single day. It's something that we work with ourselves and with other people to help our community every single day. And that message is unfortunately overshadowed by, you know, people's, as you say, malperception of him. But it is definitely something that makes a big difference in our lives.
His overall goal, most people probably wouldn't even know that it's to bring back the black family, to unite the black family, to bring them together. Because if you look at society, granted, there's some armies and some groups of people or families that's together, but for the majority, the family dynamic is broken up. There's broken homes, and I come from a single parent home, raised by my mother, and so would my life have had turned out differently if I had a father in it? I'm pretty sure it would have turned out differently. There's two different energy, two different personalities, you know, two different things that I would be able to pick up on. And maybe there's some things in my life currently that I lack. And so because of his message that he was putting out there, he was uniting the family, bringing the black family together. And that's a dope thing. What other content creator out there that has everyone's attention is bringing?
None of them.
Who's
not at Kevin's level?
Yeah, who's doing that? And the funny thing is, with that message or that intention, it's the black people or the people that he's trying to reunite that is tearing him down.
Yeah, that's the part, bro.
That is insane. What other group of people, what community of people will do that. If you just look at sports. What happens when Jeremy Lin goes crazy on New York Knicks when he's playing with New York Knicks? There's Asian communities all around the world celebrating him, uniting for him. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's insane how we're so divided because we're so combative towards one another. But if you look at the examples that happen in other communities, look at soccer, look at, how it is with these Mexican communities, the Spanish communities.
They're tight. They are tight.
They are together. They are not divisive. They are not doing anything. They ride with their ones. But we're the only ones who are typically bringing ourselves down when we're trying to help. Like, help. We're trying to help and you won't even let us help.
Yeah.
Like, that is insane. You get your ego involved and you get offended. You're saying something that goes against what I believe in, so I'm angry. I'm not going to open my mind and listen because maybe I can learn something from this. Maybe what I've been taught is getting me exactly what I've gotten out of life.
Exactly.
So maybe if I get an opposing opinion, I can get different results. Instead of continually doing the same thing, being in the same cycle, I just don't get those mindsets, man. Look at the benefits of anything that you oppose. Have an open mind. Open your fucking heart. Open your eyes. Challenge yourself. Don't get so easily offended about something that you don't agree with. Look at what Chris is doing with health. Why wouldn't that be a perfect combination? Get everything that's needed for a relationship. Okay, bam. This is Kevin's thing. This is what he does. He has the health. Get you in shape. Get your body looking right so you're looking attractive and so you feel comfortable being naked around your partner. Like, come on, like, that's a perfect combination. How is it that you can see these two good things, or maybe you don't like Kevin, but you can see that people are getting benefited from it, but you see these two things and oppose it or get upset at that. That's insane. That is insane. That's like, those situations you need a reality check. Check your reality. Look at why are other people seeing benefits? What are these other people doing? Reach out to them like, hey, I see that you said you got benefit from Kevin. What exactly happened?
Exactly.
Get their story. Learn from it instead of just saying, oh, I'm not going to do this. Ha ha. It's like, use your thoughts. Use your mind and get your ego out of anything. So I don't understand how people can have so much hate and all that when their lives aren't where they want to be.
There's one thing I want to say. Because, we've mentioned a couple times Kevin's delivery. It's one of the main things people say. Mm-hmm. He's harsh. He didn't have to say it like that. There's a better way to say it. Kevin would ask, who would you like me to mimic? Right? Who is saying it the way you want? And people would be like, well, my dad or my grandpa. No. Who can you point to that I know that I can mimic? No one was ever able to name not one person because, number one, you can't tell somebody something they don't want to hear in the right way. Yeah. It's impossible. Look, baby, listen, there's a few extra, you're not fitting any clothes away. It's no nice way to say it.
How do you mold that?
Tell someone like, yo,
look, you're fat. Like, there's no nice way to say it. That's number one. Number two, people say, okay, it was a delivery. Cool. Guess what? Before Kevin Samuels, I talked about this. I talked about actually, no. When I heard Kevin Samuels talk about it, I realized that what I was seeing was actually what it was. Mm-hmm. Which what I had noticed is that in our community specifically, we were gaining weight at an alarming rate, especially our women. All right. So I started noticing that probably about 10, 15 years ago. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Then when Kevin said it, he also added the stats. Right? He's like 80% of our women are overweight and 80% of those 80% are obese. Obese. Insane. So then I went and checked the stat. I said, okay, I'm going to do a video on this because at that time I had never looked at the statistics. It was just my own observation. Mm-hmm. So then I did a video talking about this. Had nothing to do with Kevin Samuels. Nothing. It was completely relevant to my channel and my audience, my demographic, everything. And people roasted me. So all this, he needed to be nicer. No. People telling me I need to go get a white girl and all this stuff. Like, just the most ignorant, hateful stuff that I've ever heard from off of a video that I've done, because I'm telling women something that they don't want to hear. So y'all can miss me with he was so mean. I'm one of the most tactful people. There is no way to say it.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. It's like you can't. Yeah. So what he was saying is like, man, he can't even deliver it. Forget a delivery. I mean, forget a delivery. You just don't want to hear the message.
Yeah.
You just don't want to hear the message, man. So, I mean, any closing thoughts on this Kevin Samuel thoughts, or anything that may have been left out that you all can think of?
I mean, I think at the end for me, it's just like, just in general, I think that when it comes to just health, spirituality, and our overall wellness, it is not a good practice to wish hate or hope someone goes to hell, and that just it doesn't bode well for you, and everything you put out is going to come back to you, and once again, I mean, I personally agree with a lot of the things that he said, his content and what he was saying, the message. I think that, once again, we beat this home a million times. We don't particularly always agree with everything or how he said it, right? Which we understand that is why a lot of people are upset. But what he was saying was very true. And what a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of what he was saying were what a lot of men are thinking, but they're just afraid to say because we understand the backlash that we would get. So maybe it's a good thing to just listen and say, are men actually thinking this way? And start asking questions. So
I guess I'll say that his imprint, although, the 2 years was a very short period of time, but the imprint that he made is going to be long lasting. Some people will say that's a good thing. Some people will say that's a bad thing.
It ain't over.
I will say that, it's definitely not over. He sparked something that can never be extinguished. I will say that for me personally, I appreciate what I learned. I appreciate how I've been able to grow my own brand. I appreciate, watching his work ethic. I also appreciate learning from his mistakes. It was nice to see that, how he moved and how he was bringing people together. And also to remember to always take care of your health, because at the end of the day, how much greater impact would he have had if he was here for the next 30 years?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that was one of the main things for me is when I very first started my health and wellness journey, I was afraid I was going to die because my uncle died at 50-something years old of cancer. So I'm like, I'm going to die of cancer. And that was one of the driving forces for why I was trying to learn, like, is there a way to stop this? And by extending your lifespan, you could do more. So for those who are out there that are fighting the good fight, if you will, you get more time. We can accomplish a lot more. I mean, look what this man did in 2 years. So we can accomplish a lot more. And I would encourage people, if you're one of them people that's like, nah, I ain't gonna mess with them, that's fine. If you're like, man, it's kind of odd that Chris, is saying all this stuff, maybe there's something to it. I would encourage you, like, watch his content while it's still available.
Specifically a full stream.
A full stream. It's 2-3 hours.
I did see his stream. I watched 3 of his videos all in full. He was still talking bad to people and talking down to people.
If you're watching a video and you don't hear him say anything good, then you didn't watch a full video. Like, there was never a video where he just was rude and mean and nasty to every person. So that's how I know you're lying. And also look at some of his old content. Look at some of the content. He was a whole different person. Like you can see the growth of his brand and everything. So it was equal, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like he was just bashing women. He hated women. He did the same thing to men.
Exact same thing.
So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I would like to see people watch his content and be like, oh shoot, I was wrong. And I would like to see people be like, you know what? Because we can learn, like, what he was doing really was ultimately going to benefit us.
Yeah.
It really was. So you know,
dude, it made me, Mel. I don't know if you remember a conversation that we had because I'm divorced, and I said I'm never getting married again, never, not interested, da 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 da. And then I started to consume some of his stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I could get married again. And then it became something that I then desired because I realized there are benefits to being married. But I literally said to myself, never again. So he literally was and this is something that no one's ever going to know, but he literally was able to take a black man and I'm going to give myself a little bit of a little bit of quality black man, and he took him from being basically off the market of marriage to then putting him back on the market to be basically able to be married. And that's something that a lot of people would never know. They would never know. So how many people out there did he also do that to? Other men who thought, well, I'm never going to get married. I don't care about getting married. And now they're like, you know what? Maybe I should get married. Maybe that is a goal. And we'll never know how many people that he actually did that to.
Yeah, I'll encourage everyone out there to challenge what you believe. Like, because there's not absolutely everything. Well, when I first was listening to Kevin Samuels, he would say some things that rubbed me the wrong way. Not about what he said to someone, but what he said. And what I did is I questioned myself is, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling irritated or bothered by what he says? And it allows me to do some self-reflecting. Like, okay, I feel insecure about this particular thing in life. Okay, why? Why am I insecure? So I'm getting to the root of what is the issue with me instead of allowing what his words, whatever words that he's saying to upset you. Figure out why it's upsetting you, and then you'll be able to understand how you can grow from there. Because if someone was to call me ugly, I would laugh at them. I'd be like, because I don't believe this. I don't believe any of this, so I don't welcome that into me. So I don't even need to question that, But if it's something that's irritating me or making me feel bothered in some way, I need to question why I'm feeling this. So, because if I did get offended if someone called me ugly, oh man, do I feel ugly? Why am I ugly? I have to question, why am I allowing someone to have this effect on me? But yeah, man, Kevin Samuels, man, I'm grateful for him. I'm extremely grateful for Kevin. Thankful for his channel, for his content, for his time, for the influence that he's had, and for the thought-provoking content that he's created. And, there's a lot of things that I benefited from personally. It's a good conversation starter. It's thought-provoking topics, man. And these are the type of things that we need. Things that stimulate your mind. If it stimulates your mind, it creates growth, and you grow from that. You're challenging your conventional thinking. And me personally, I love hearing content or things that oppose my beliefs, because that gives me a chance to grow. Instead of getting upset from it, I just learn from it, man. So definitely salute to Kevin and everything that he's done since we've known about him and before. Definitely will be a missed energy out here on this earth, for me good and for other people bad or whatever. But if we don't have anything else to say, we will close with that. We can tell the people to subscribe to the channel.
Hey, man, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, you know what I'm saying? Ring the notification bell so you know when we drop these videos every week. Every week.
A week is 7 days, so it covers the basis.
Yeah, true that. Every week. And let us know your thoughts.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Let us know,
especially the ones that don't agree.
Yeah.
They're always the loudest.
Yeah, if you don't agree, fine. Don't get upset. Don't get angry. Don't get offended. Just talk.
Ask questions.
Just talk.
Ask. One of the things that frustrates me the most is when somebody doesn't agree, they instantly create this whole scenario about how you're a bad person and all this stuff. Probe. Ask a question. Hey, Chris, why do you feel the way you feel? Can you give me a specific example? Why is it the first thing that we do is, oh, you're canceled and oh, you just must hate black women too? Like, ask a probing question. Ask a probing question.
Ask a probing question.
I don't know what probing means, but ask a question.
Oh, you don't?
I mean, I know what probing means.
Okay. All right.
It's like that alien stuff.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to get probed.
Oh, my God.
I have been probed. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, because we're not trying to cause any kind of conflict.
Nah, man, not at all.
That's not what we're about. We're all about unity. You know what I mean? UNITY. You know what I mean? Queen Latifah in this piece, man. But Chris James, Stephen Michael, I am that I am. And we will see you beautiful people next time.